The research station floated in silence above a yellow star. It was one of the oldest stations in the galaxy, built by many species working together. Long halls of glass and metal circled the star, filled with screens, lights, and quiet voices. This place existed for one reason only, to study new civilizations before they became a threat. Inside the main observation chamber, a group of alien leaders gathered around a wide holographic table. Their shapes were different. Some were tall and thin, others heavy and armored. A few did not even walk. They floated or moved on metal limbs. All of them were watching the same image. A small blue planet appeared in the air. It was labeled simply, Earth. Humans, one of the analysts said. A young species. Recently discovered. At first glance, there was nothing impressive. Humans were small. They had no claws, no thick scales, no natural weapons. Their bodies looked soft and fragile compared to many species in the room. One council member gave a low sound that meant amusement. They do not look like survivors, he said. Why study them? The analyst did not answer. Instead, he changed the display. Images of human cities appeared. Tall structures. Roads filled with moving machines. Lights glowing through the night. Then the images shifted again. Now the room showed war. Explosions shook ruined cities. Smoke covered the sky. Human soldiers ran through fire and debris. Some were wounded. Some were bleeding. Yet they kept moving. They did not stop. They did not turn back. The room grew quiet. These are conflicts from early human history, the analyst said. They fought each other. Often. For land, for power, for belief. A tall alien leaned forward. Primitive behavior, he said. Self-destruction. Wait, another scientist said. Her voice was careful. Look closer. The images slowed. Data appeared beside the scenes. Heart rates. Adrenal response. Pain levels. The scientist stared. When humans experience fear, she said, their bodies release chemicals that increase strength and focus. Pain does not stop them. In many cases, it pushes them further. Another screen opened. It showed humans lifting heavy wreckage to save others. Humans charging toward danger instead of away from it. Humans fighting even after losing blood. This reaction is not normal, the scientist continued. Most species freeze. Or flee. Humans advance. A low murmur spread through the chamber. The analyst changed the display again. This time, it showed human biology. Bones repaired themselves after breaking. Skin healed. Muscles grew stronger after damage. They adapt through suffering, he said. Injury does not weaken them long-term. It improves them. One council member shifted uneasily. You are saying pain makes them better? Yes, the analyst replied. Another image appeared. Old recordings from space. Human ships. Crude and simple at first. Then larger. Stronger. Heavily armed. They went to war before they reached the stars, the analyst said. By the time they entered space, conflict was already part of their nature. A commander in dark armor spoke for the first time. Show us their losses. The room filled with scenes of destruction. Human cities burning. Worlds scarred. Billions lost. They should have collapsed, the commander said. Any other species would. But they did not, the analyst said quietly. He brought up the final data set. Human war doctrines. Emergency protocols. Last stand strategies. Plans made for total extinction scenarios. They prepared for losing, he said. They planned for the moment when everything was gone. Silence filled the chamber. One of the youngest council members spoke, her voice low. Why would a species plan for its own end? No one answered at first. Then the chief researcher stepped forward. His eyes never left the data. Because they expected it, he said. They lived their entire history believing survival was never guaranteed. The hologram shifted one final time. A single sentence from an ancient human record appeared. If we must fall, we will make sure the enemy falls with us. The words hung in the air. The chief researcher turned to the council. Humans were not shaped by peace, he said. They were shaped by struggle. The room felt colder. One analyst broke the silence, his voice barely above a whisper. They were not built to live safely, he said. They were built to endure war. No one laughed now. Above the yellow star, the research station continued its orbit, quiet and watchful. But deep inside its halls, a new understanding had formed. Humanity was not weak. Humanity was dangerous. And this was only the beginning. The council did not end the meeting after the discovery. Instead, it grew larger. More scientists were called. More military observers arrived. What began as simple research turned into something closer to fear. The chief researcher ordered a deeper scan. Study their past completely, he said. Not just wars. Everything. The data streams changed. Human history unfolded in long, painful detail. The aliens watched humans fight across centuries. Nations rose and fell. Borders changed again and again. Each war was followed by a short peace. Then another war came. This species never truly rests, one historian said. Conflict follows them like a shadow. But something else appeared in the data. After every disaster, humans rebuilt faster than expected. Cities destroyed by war returned larger and stronger. Technology improved after each conflict. Weapons became more precise. Armor became stronger. Strategy became smarter. They learned quickly, a tactical analyst said. Too quickly. The council studied human soldiers from different eras. Though their weapons changed, their behavior stayed the same. They protected each other. They charged forward when others would retreat. They fought on even when the odds were hopeless. One alien general paused the recording. Why do they keep standing? He asked. Why not surrender? The answer came from human psychology records. Humans believed surrender often led to worse suffering. They believed resistance, even in failure, had value. They believed survival was something earned, not given. That belief is dangerous, the general said. The researchers then uncovered something unexpected. Human children. They were taught stories from a young age. Stories about struggle. About heroes who lost everything but continued anyway. About sacrifice. About standing alone against overwhelming force. Even their stories prepare them, a cultural expert said. They teach endurance before comfort. The council grew uneasy. The next discovery was worse. Hidden in classified human archives were long-term defense programs. Not all were completed. Some were never activated. But the plans existed. Bunkers buried deep underground. Seed vaults to restart life after extinction. Automated factories meant to rebuild weapons long after humans were gone. They expected to be wiped out, an analyst said. And still planned to return. A silence followed. One council member spoke slowly. This is not natural evolution. The room turned toward him. No species should develop like this by accident, he continued. Every part of their society points toward survival through conflict. The chief researcher nodded. Either their environment forced it, or war shaped them completely. The analyst studied Earth's environment. Harsh climates. Natural disasters. Predators. Scarcity. Even their home world fights them, one scientist said. The conclusion became clear. Humanity did not grow in safety. They grew under constant pressure. Their bodies adapted. Their minds hardened. Their societies learned to mobilize quickly. Then came the final shock. Human military doctrine showed something rare. Humans trained not just to win, but to lose without breaking. Fallback plans. Retreat strategies. Last resort commands. All designed to keep fighting even after defeat. They accept loss, the tactical analyst said. And continue anyway. The alien general leaned back slowly. That means destroying their fleets will not stop them, he said. It will only slow them. Fear spread through the council. The truth was impossible to ignore now. Humans were not a peaceful species that learned war. They were a war-shaped species that learned peace when possible. One council member finally spoke what everyone was thinking. If such a species ever sees the galaxy as an enemy, what happens? No one answered. The chief researcher ended the session with a warning message sent across secure channels to the Galactic Council. Humanity is not aggressive by default. But if threatened, they will not stop. They were built to endure what breaks others. Far away, on the blue planet called Earth, humans continued their lives. They worked. They argued. They laughed. They dreamed of peace. They had no idea that the galaxy was studying them with growing fear. And no idea that the universe was beginning to understand a simple truth. Humanity survived because it was never meant to be fragile. It was meant to last. The warning sent by the research station did not stay secret for long. Across the galaxy, leaders received the same message. Humanity was not dangerous because it wanted war. Humanity was dangerous because it could survive it. At first, many refused to believe it. They are too few, some said. They are divided, others argued. A species that fights itself cannot threaten the galaxy. But fear has a way of spreading faster than logic. More data was requested. More systems began searching old space lanes, forgotten battlefields, and silent regions near human space. That was when they found the ships. They were old. Very old. Drifting in the dark between stars, far from any human colony. At first glance, they looked dead. No signals. No movement. An alien patrol moved closer to one of them. The ship was massive, built with thick armor and simple, brutal design. It did not look elegant. It looked stubborn. Scans showed something unsettling. Power cores were inactive, but not damaged. Weapons were cold, but still intact. The ship was not destroyed. It was waiting. Why leave warships like this? A patrol officer asked. The answer came when they accessed ancient human records. Humans had built fleets designed to activate centuries later. Some were meant to awaken only if certain signals were detected. Others were meant to respond if humanity vanished. They planned for absence, one analyst said. They planned to fight even after they were gone. That discovery changed everything. Alien governments began to panic. Some closed borders. Others increased fleets near human space. A few secretly prepared first strike plans. Fear replaced curiosity. Then something unexpected happened. Humanity noticed. Not through spies or scanners, but through behavior. Trade slowed. Diplomatic messages became cold. Patrols appeared where none had been before. Human observers grew cautious. They are watching us, one human officer said. And they are nervous. Human leaders did not react with threats. They did not mobilize fleets. They asked questions. But the galaxy did not answer honestly. Behind closed doors, alien councils argued. If we strike first, we remove the threat, one leader said. And if we fail, another replied. What do we awaken? Because that was the real fear now. Not human fleets. Not human weapons. But human response. The research station sent one final report. When humans believe survival is at risk, they unite faster than any known species. Old conflicts pause. Old enemies stand together. Fear turns into focus. They do not become chaotic, the report said. They become clear. That terrified the galaxy more than anger ever could. Then came the moment that changed the debate. A human signal was detected. It was not a threat. It was not a warning. It was a request. Humanity asked for open communication. They asked why borders were closing. They asked why fleets were moving. The message was calm. Controlled. Almost gentle. But hidden in the data was something the aliens noticed immediately. Human fleets had begun moving too. Not toward anyone. Into defensive positions. They are preparing, an alien commander whispered. For war, another asked. No, the commander replied slowly. For survival. The galaxy finally understood the truth. Humanity did not seek domination. Humanity did not seek conquest. But if forced into a corner, they would endure longer than anyone else. They would adapt. They would persist. They would outlast. And when the stars finally went quiet, humanity would still be there, standing among the ruins. Fear spread through the galaxy like a shadow. Because now everyone knew the same thing. Humanity had not been discovered too late. They had been understood too late. And the universe was about to learn what happens when a species built for war is pushed too far. The galaxy waited. Fleets hovered at the edges of human space, engines warm but weapons silent. Defense lines stretched across star systems like invisible walls. No one wanted to be the first to move. Silence became heavier than war. Inside human command centers, leaders studied the same reports the aliens feared. They saw the ships watching them. They felt the tension pulling tighter each day. Humanity understood something important. They were being judged. A human admiral stood before a council of Earth's representatives. His voice was calm, but his words carried weight. They are afraid of what we can become, he said. Not because we threaten them, but because they see themselves breaking where we do not. Some argued for strength. Some argued for caution. In the end, humanity chose something unexpected. Truth. A message was sent across all known channels. Not coded. Not hidden. Open for every species to hear. It did not speak of weapons. It did not speak of fleets. It spoke of history. Humans showed their scars. Their wars. Their failures. Their near extinctions. They showed worlds burned and rebuilt. They showed mistakes repeated and lessons learned too late. We were never proud of war, the message said. We were shaped by it. Alien councils watched in silence. Humans admitted something no species ever had. They did not know peace for long stretches of their history. Survival demanded strength. Loss demanded endurance. And over time, those demands shaped their bodies, their minds, and their societies. We did not choose to be forged this way, the message continued. But once forged, we chose restraint. That was the moment the galaxy hesitated. Because the data matched the words. Human fleets remained defensive. Weapons stayed locked. No first strike came. Instead, humanity did something rare. They stepped back. They dismantled some border weapons. They invited observers. They opened archives. You fear us because you think we wait for war, the message said. We fear war because we know what it turns us into. That truth struck deeper than any threat. Alien leaders realized something too late. Humanity was not holding back because it was weak. Humanity was holding back because it understood war better than anyone else. The research station that began it all sent a final update. Humans did not evolve to conquer the galaxy. They evolved to endure long enough to protect what mattered. War was not their desire. It was their last answer. Slowly, fleets pulled back. Borders reopened. Trade resumed. The galaxy did not relax, but it breathed again. Far above Earth, human warships returned to patrol routes designed for defense, not domination. Ancient automated fleets powered down once more, waiting in silence. Humanity returned to its fragile peace. But the galaxy would never forget. It had learned a truth written into human bones and history alike. Humanity was not built to start wars. Humanity was built to survive them. And if the universe ever forgot that lesson, humans would still be there to remind it.